Today we're going property hunting around Dubai. I'm taking you to a bunch of underrated livable communities around Dubai that you would never even know about unless you actually go there and unless you really look around Dubai. Everyone talks about Dubai Marina, downtown, but most people don't realize that there's actually a lot of very underrated, sort of more subdued communities that a lot of the locals, after a while, end up going to live in. And because I'm looking to buy real estate right now, I've started to consider a lot of different areas. So me and my friend are now going to go for a little ride around Dubai, around some of these more underrated areas to show you what Dubai has to offer in terms of property. And I'm about to head to my friend's place because he's going to drive us around. So I'm going to take you along and let me know down below in the comments which area you like the most. It's the ride for the day. The first area we checked out is called Al Furjan. Now this area is located on the marina side of Dubai. It took around 15 to 20 minutes to drive from the marina. I was very hyped to check out this particular area because I've heard many great things about it. I've heard a lot of people hype up this area as a very underrated area, specifically for living in Dubai. You have both apartments as well as villas and townhouses. And arriving straight away, I can see that it's a very nice, peaceful community vibe. Not too much traffic, no any crowds over there. So I can see straight away why people really like this area. It's almost like its own mini cities, and to be fair, a lot of areas in Dubai are like that. And there's a lot of things to like here. It has pretty much everything you want. It has a mall with restaurants, grocery store, everything like that. It even has a gym, which is a big deal because many of the areas we'll explore in this video are actually not going to have this. And it's also close to marina / the Palm. Only con perhaps is that it's quite far from downtown. But overall, I really like this area. Now looking at it from an investment perspective, it's close to the new airport that Dubai is building in Dubai South. It's also close to Jebel Ali, and a lot of people are saying that this sort of axis from the new airport to Jebel Ali is going to see a lot of appreciation. We'll obviously have to see about that. In terms of prices, we can see that studios start around 47,000 dirhams a year, with one bedrooms at 72,000. And to buy, studios start at 542,000 and one bedrooms at 970,000, giving us a rough gross rental yield of 8.6%, which is very, very high. Overall, a very nice area. Even villas and townhouses here start around 3 million, perhaps on average 3.5 million dirhams. So I could definitely see myself in this area in the future. The next area we headed to is called Damac Hills. Now this is an area I've always been aware is there, but I've never even considered because I've never been there. But driving through it, at least, I have to say I'm really surprised just how nice it is. You have both apartments and villas and townhouses, but it does seem more like a villa community. You have a golf course, it even has a mall, restaurants. It's very nice green community vibe where I could see, for example, a lot of families living in, or even young professionals who are commuting from here because it's not too far from the main areas. 25 minutes to both marina and downtown. The one thing I noticed that while a lot of these areas can be further away in terms of distance, in terms of time to commute, they can actually be very similar because in a lot of those busy areas, you're going to be stuck in traffic for such a long time. But definitely need to see the actual units to see if I would consider this area. But definitely I was surprised just how nice this area seemed, at least at first glance. Apartments start at around 600k for a studio or 1 million for a one bedroom, and to rent, studios start at 48k and 77k for one bedrooms. And if we just look at villas, they start at an average of 2.8 million dirhams to buy. This gets us a rough gross yield of 7.8%. And there was also Damac Hills 2 that we did drive to. For me though, this is a bit too far and remote for me, but if you don't mind that and you don't mind being a bit further, this can also be worth looking into. By the way, if you're looking to buy property yourself, as someone who is going through this process right now, there's so many different things to consider. Like just during these days, looking at all these areas, I have no idea about all the details. Like, okay, who are the developers that build in this area? What's the build quality like here? Like, what are the return expectations? What are the rental yields? There's so many different things that you need to consider. So unless you've already done hundreds of hours of research into the UAE property market, you're most likely going to end up making the wrong decision unless you work with a professional who knows what they're doing. So if you're interested in buying property here in the UAE, you can book a free consultation in the first link down below in the description. Using that link, you're going to be able to speak to my business partner directly, who is a licensed real estate agent here in the UAE and who is helping me right now as we speak as well to buy this property here in the UAE. We have helped tons of people from this channel already buy property here. Highly recommend you use this service if you're looking to buy real estate here, so you can book that free call in the first link down below. Next, we drove through Arjan, and straight away I have to say, not somewhere where I would want to live, at least not right now. Still very underdeveloped, lots of construction, not a lot of greenery. You get a lot of like desert vibes here rather than a nice community vibe like a lot of the other communities that we checked out here. Apartments to rent start at 47k for studios and 73k for one bedrooms, and to buy they start at 590k for studios and 982k for one bedrooms. And I do know that this area is popular for investments, specifically because it's not too far away from the main areas, and it's the kind of area where a lot of, let's say, young professionals who are moving to Dubai want to save a bit of money, like to live in, so you get nice yields here. In fact, it is often seen as one of the best areas for rental yields with up to 8% yields. Next up, we have Arabian Ranches 3. Now, this is a villa community entirely, no apartments here. It's quite new still developing, but they already have quite a lot of finished villas. They have these clean and modern design villas. Now, I've been to the other Arabian Ranches, so Arabian Ranches 1 and 2. They're also very nice. They have slightly different style of villas, like these more Arabic style villas. These are very modern design, which I quite like. And the benefit is that all of this is going to be MR, as this community is entirely built by MR, which is generally good. The downside is that it is still very developing. For example, there is no gym here, there is no mall as of yet, but I'm sure those are coming. It's 26 minutes from both Marina and Downtown, and whether that's too far depends on you, but at least for me, the reason I'm looking at all these different areas is that because I stay inside most of the time, when I do go out, driving an extra 10-15 minutes is not really that big of a deal if it means I'm saving like 1 million, 1.5 million dirhams on the property that I buy. Now this one, just because it has no gym, I would probably not live here just yet, but for long-term capital appreciation, it could be a great option. And mostly I would see families living in an area like this. In terms of prices, villas start at the average price of 2.7 million dirhams for 3-bedroom villas, and in terms of yields, you would get 5.6%, so not the greatest. And in general, if you're looking for yields, you probably want to look into apartments rather than villas, but for long-term living, this one is nice to look at. Next, we also checked out Dubai Creek Harbour. Now, this is an area that I've already been to many times before, and I talked about it before on this channel as well. It's an MR built waterfront community close to downtown. It's already finished enough to live, but also has a lot of future potential. They're touting it as the new downtown. They're gonna build Dubai Creek Tower and everything like that in this area. Now, we had one friend who lives here, so we even got him to give us a tour of his apartment.
I better be featured in your vlog.
Yeah.
Subscribe, guys. Tech with Tim. If you want mentorship, come directly from me.
Buy his mentorship.
Okay. Trainings, techwithtim.net. Link below. Thomas, you better put the link.
Yeah, well. And his second channel, Life with Tim.
Life with Tim is a little bit outdated. If you get some more subscribers, then yeah, I'll post more.
Amazing. There we go. I'll charge you $1,000 for this feature.
Let's see. I'll give you an affiliate. Okay.
Sure. So give us a tour of the...
Welcome home, welcome home. Look at the nice moldings on the wall, the luxury finishes.
I wish I rented this instead of my place, to be fair.
Check this out, bro. Check this.
I love
Where do you see
it.
this in Dubai, man? Where do you see this? What? The money shot.
The money shot. I've seen this in your videos.
You've seen this on the story. For sunset, it's beautiful.
You've been filming videos here as well. For
Yeah,
the Genzo
I filmed the homepage video here. That's what
Yeah.
you saw, but
Yeah.
the view here is insane. The Burj Khalifa sunset.
Scared of heights, yeah?
You scared of heights, bro?
No, I'm not. I'm just looking down. You got tennis balls.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's beautiful. The view is definitely the reason I got the place.
Yeah.
When I was first getting it, it wasn't furnished. They didn't even finish like doing all the designs on the wall, but I saw the view. I'm like, yep.
Dude, this is
Hella
hella
got
nice.
this.
Holy shit.
It's the best building in Crete.
Yeah, to buy all this shit though. To buy all this would be like.
Yeah, I didn't have to buy it, but you know, if there's any wear and tear, they're gonna take it off the deposit. It is what it is.
You already got a decent deal on this one.
Yeah. I'm gonna get a 2-bed for sure.
Yeah.
Cause like,
I would get a 2-bed here as well, but I just like the finishing and the
you know,
style.
Thomas exposing Genzel's office.
Yeah, this is where the calls are
This
closed.
is where the
See,
calls
this,
are taken.
I would hate this.
What?
To have it in my bedroom. I would want a separate room.
Yeah, no, that's what I want next time.
Yeah.
But it's a standing desk, to be fair.
Yeah.
Do go down. Oh.
Could definitely see myself living in this area. It's almost like the marina without the tourists and without the traffic. Investment wise though, I would probably look somewhere else, simply because of the fact that this area is already so hyped. The prices to buy relative to rent are very, very high. Yields not that great compared to some of the other options, only around like 6% or something like that. So for living, really like this area. For investment, I would probably look somewhere else. Next, we drove through Villanova. Now this is yet another villa community, and again, it's a whole another vibe that I never even expected to see in Dubai. Driving through it almost reminds me of like a very affluent US suburb or something like that. It's very big houses, lots of greenery, gated community. You see a lot of families living here, like walking around in these walking paths. The houses here have very different designs in contrast to the previous area that we looked at, but they're all a very similar design. I'm not sure what these go for, but I would imagine these ones are very, very expensive. Now, Property Finder did not have average data for this area, but I can see that you can get villas starting as low as 2.4 million, but I would imagine the average is around 3 million plus. And again, probably not the best for rental yields, as apartments are generally better for that, but for families looking for a long-term home or something like that, this is again something to consider. Again, no gym, however, so for that reason alone, I'm probably not gonna look at this area. Next, we went to Sobha Hartland, and I was particularly excited to check out this area because it is built by Sobha, which is generally a very good quality developer, has very good standards for their build quality. And by the way, build quality can sometimes be a big issue in Dubai. But from what I know, Sobha usually seems to have a good reputation. So they're now building this whole community, and driving in, there's still a lot of construction, definitely still very developy. But once you do get into the developed part, it is actually very nice. They again have a lot of greenery, they have a park. Again, no gym, yet again, a bummer. I don't know why they don't build more gyms in these areas. However, they are building a very big mall, which I assume will have a gym as well as all kinds of restaurants and things like that, and that is due to be done in 2026. Again, there was no average data available, but from what I can see, one bedroom start at around 1 million. I would imagine average is like 1.3 million. However, the square footages are quite small in this area, so here I would want a 2-bedroom to get the kind of size that I'm looking for, and those ones start at around 1.6 million. Distance wise, you're very close to downtown, which is a very big plus. And from what I could see, yields for apartments could be in the 6 to 8% range. So for me, I'm actually very interested in this area just because I want to make sure that I get a good quality apartment with good build quality, whether I live in it or I rent it out. And because prices are quite reasonable, it's close to downtown, this is definitely something that I am going to look at. If I were to buy here, however, I would perhaps not move there yet, as there's still a lot of construction around, and from the building reviews, I could see that that was a big complaint that people were having. But in the future, I'm sure this will be a very excellent community. Then finally, we also drove through Meydan, which is a very big area with a lot of sub areas. And at least this part was still very much under construction. So not something that you could live in yet, but perhaps a good location for longer term investment for now. And at the end of this, I headed back to Dubai Marina, where I live currently, with a lot more thoughts around what Dubai actually has to offer. All right, so we're now back at the apartment here in Dubai Marina, and I would say even eye-opening drive around to check out all these different communities around Dubai that you would never even consider unless you actually went there. In this place right here in the marina, I pay 155k AED a year, comes out to around 3.5 thousand US dollars a month. If I were to buy this exact spot, just to give you an idea, this would be 2.3 million dirhams. Again, comparing to a lot of the different prices I've shown you throughout this video. Again, I've always told you I love the marina. I love walking around and being close to the water, smelling the water, being close to the beach, close to beach clubs, restaurants. But then I was just talking about this with my friend. Is smelling the water worth an extra 1 million dirhams, 1.5 million dirhams? I'm starting to think probably not. It's kind of a life cycle probably for people. When you move to Dubai, you should absolutely live in a place like Marina, downtown. But then over time, after you sort of get used to, some of the downsides start to get to you, like the traffic, the crowdedness. So really at the moment, I am strongly leaning towards just buying a place in one of those areas that we just saw, or in a place like that. But nevertheless, let me know what you think. Obviously, everyone's going to have a different preference, and I will certainly keep you up to date on this channel on what I end up deciding. Now, if you want to see my review of living here in Dubai Marina, you can watch that video right there. With that said, I will see you in the next one.